Hello there, all you friends, true believers, and newcomers alike. It's Superfly Comics Guy, and I hope you're doing well. Today, I've got for you not one, but two volumes that we'll be taking a look at today. We'll be looking at the Daredevil by Ed Brubaker Omnibuses Volumes 1 and 2. We'll be taking a look at the cover, the spine, the contents collected, the build quality, and a flip through of these stories where I can share some of my thoughts, opinions, and recommendations with you guys. So if you enjoy the video at any point, you know how to show it, and feel free to chuck your own thoughts down in the comments below. But for now, go grab your red tinted glasses, sit back, relax, and let's dive into these books together. So we'll start off with volume 1 here. We got this lovely cover by Marko Đurđević, who does so many awesome covers all throughout this run. It's incredible. There is also a direct market cover for this omnibus by David Finch. And it's also worth mentioning, I have the 2017 editions, I believe, of these books. So not the most recent reprint that came out of volume 1. There is the spine. You can see the older style of the Daredevil spine font there. They changed it up for the reprint, the most recent reprint of this volume, so keep that in mind. And then the back, got a nice little cover gallery of all the issues you're getting, which is Daredevil 82 through 105, and a cover price of 100 US, 127 Canadian. I believe that stayed the same for the reprint that came out, was it 2 years ago, last year? I don't know, recently. But let me show you the other volume. Okay, here is volume 2. Once again, gorgeous Marko Đurđević cover. And volume 2 hasn't been reprinted since this edition, but it has been announced to be receiving a reprint, I think in 2024, if I'm not mistaken. And there will be a direct market cover that time by Joe Quesada. So you have that to look forward to. Similar spine design here. I imagine the reprint that comes out next year will change the spine font there to match the reprint of volume 1 that came out. And then the back, once again, the cover gallery, and this time we're collecting Daredevil 106 through 119 and issue 500, Daredevil Annual number 1, and Daredevil Blood of the Tarantula. This one has a cover price of 75 US and 95 Canadian. And I also wanted to show you what these books look like together, what they would look like on your shelf. And this is also a large reason why I'm reviewing both at the same time, because these really just should have been one omnibus. You can see volume 2 is a decent amount thinner than volume 1. Yeah, it's such a singular run, this one, that they really should have just made this into one omnibus. But alas, I do not make the decisions at Marvel. But let's have a look under the dust jackets here. Nice. So dog, I heard you like some badass wraparound covers. So why don't I show you? Here is the board design for volume 1. Dude, does it even get cooler than that? Look at how awesome that is. Like, there is some fantastic artwork in this omnibus. So good. One of my favorite wraparound covers for the Omnis that I own, honestly. And then this is volume 2. Let's have a look at that as well. Very, very badass scene as well. But volume 1, the design of volume 1 takes the cake for me. Such a cool scene. But all right, let's start flipping through these books. So volume 1 here, let's go. We got some appropriate red bookend pages. Daredevil Red, The Man Without Fear. Got a bit of a contents page here, or a credits page rather, because there is no table of contents or page numbers in this book. And then we also get an introduction by Brian Michael Bendis, who was the previous writer of Daredevil before Brubaker took over. Now, before I go further, I will say I am going to do my best to avoid spoilers, but this book will spoil the ending of the Bendis omnibus. Or both omnibuses, because this is a direct follow-up to Bendis's run. So much so that Bendis and Brubaker actually worked together to make that transition as smooth as possible. So, if you have not read the Bendis Omnis, I would strongly recommend you read those before this, because if you do it the other way around, if you read this run and then Bendis's run, I think you're going to ruin a lot of the build-up, suspense, and payoff found in Bendis's story. So as I said, I'm going to do my best to avoid spoilers, but from here on out, minor details of the Bendis run will be spoiled, so fair warning. But alright, here we are. So, where are we in the story here? Well, by this point in time, oh god, there's that gorgeous, gorgeous spread page. Love it. By this point in time, Matt's identity as Daredevil has been leaked to the public, and Matt has been put in prison. He finds himself in prison. And look, this automatically is such a compelling idea because look, locking a hero in with a bunch of the criminals that he's put away, so much potential there. Because, you know, Matt, to the public, he can just deny the allegations that he's Daredevil. But if he finds himself up against some criminals and, you know, away from prying eyes, he's not going to shy away from laying the smackdown on some of the criminals in prison. And in general, this arc here, The Devil in Cell Block D, and really a lot of this run, so excellently portrays Matt's rage and how vicious he can be when you tick him off. Because yeah, Matt finds himself in a pretty dark place mentally at this point in time. A lot of things have just been going wrong in his life, whether it's, you know, public opinion of him or a lot of the strained relationships he's been having. So, you know, his friendship with Foggy Nelson or his relationship with Mila, the love interest that was set up during Bendis's run, which we'll get into a little bit later. He's coming off the mental breakdown that he suffered in Bendis's run. There's really a lot going on with him at this point in time. So much so that even the Punisher at one point, Frank Castle, decides to get himself thrown in prison just so he can find Matt and see if he's really in as bad shape as he's been hearing about. And look, when you have the Punisher, of all people, feeling bad for you, that's how you know you have it rough. It's also worth mentioning that at this point in time, there is actually another Daredevil running around the city while Matt's in prison, which adds a sort of layer of plausible deniability to Matt's situation. But as for who that is and what's going on, well, you'll have to figure that out for yourself. But yeah, man, if you're coming off of Bendis's run thinking that things are going to improve for Matt and be better, absolutely not. This run goes even darker, I would say, and it's all about the slow fall of our hero.
But the one thing they love more than a hero is to see a hero fail, fall, die trying.
And who better to write a story like that than Ed Brubaker, master of crime noir? I mean, and Matt is perfectly suited to noir storytelling, in my opinion. I mean, this flawed protagonist, so flawed sometimes that he can actually be difficult to root for, just based on, you know, the things he does and how he treats people. Matt's not always a good guy, but this flawed protagonist trying to fight his way out from the forces of darkness that surround him. It's just a match made in heaven. Brubaker and Daredevil. So good. And man, just look at these covers, dude. So this is a Libermejo cover. The covers are incredible, dude. They're so, so good. But, you know, the book actually, you know, puts into question Matt's morality, I guess you could say. It asks the question, you know, is Matt a good person that's just being smothered by darkness? Or is he an inherently dark character that's just trying to find redemption in the light? And it's just so interesting because depending on where you stand or where each character stands, you could make an argument for either side, honestly. But anyway, eventually Daredevil discovers that there may actually be somebody behind the scenes that's pulling the strings and bringing all this misery to him, which, you know, is a plot thread that's actually commonly found in a lot of Daredevil stories, and they do draw attention to that actually at one point via a bit of meta commentary. But yeah, this mystery will take him all sorts of places, even as far as Europe, just to find the answers. And along the way, over the course of this run, Daredevil's going to run into a whole host of villains and characters like Melvin Potter or the Gladiator. There are some really, really good Kingpin scenes in this run. I believe this is the first appearance of a new character called Lady Bullseye. So not Bullseye, but Lady Bullseye, who's actually really interesting in this run. Mr. Fear, who's like this, for lack of a better term, just Marvel's version of the Scarecrow, but man, they make him really cool in this run. They kind of depict him like the Phantasm from Batman Mask of the Phantasm. Really, really cool. But here in Volume 2, the Hand actually takes a much more central role, and in spots it actually feels like an ode to Frank Miller's work on Daredevil. I mean, there's even this character known as Master Izo, who's basically just a goofy version of Stick. But I'd say my biggest complaint for this run, and it's not even really a complaint, I'd say Mila's arc, you know, the love interest that was set up during Bendis's run. I'd say that's my biggest issue, not because of the quality of the storytelling, not at all, but, you know, just due to the nature of all these things that are going on with Matt in this at this time. Mila inevitably gets wrapped up in all that, and it ends up just being so heartbreaking to see what happens to their relationship. I think Bendis set up Mila with a lot of potential to play an interesting role in Matt's life, and I just wish that this story utilized her for more than what it ended up doing, and that's as much as I can say without spoiling things. But as far as the art goes, I mean, look at it, dude. It's so good. If you liked the art in Gotham Central, this is the same creative team. Michael Lark, Stefano Gaudiano, really gorgeous stuff. I love the heavy use of shadows, brings so much depth. It really conveys that feeling of darkness. I mean, just look at the color palette. It's just blues and grays, and it's, you know, so washed out a lot of the time. Like, oh, look at how moody and atmospheric some of this artwork is. It's fantastic. The color palette is so well suited to this story. The action is so well depicted. I love the way Daredevil's costume is drawn. It's so good. And the covers, like I said, are absolutely fantastic. I would say that there isn't a single bad cover in this entire 2-volume set. They're that good, especially the Marko Đurđević covers. Like, oh, so well done. But speaking of covers, let's jump back to Volume 1 here so we can take a look at this extra section. What else is there to say, man? Just some gorgeous work here. Variant covers, an interview with Michael Lark and Ed Brubaker talking about their time on the book. Covers, sketches and pencils by Lee Bermejo. He draws some fantastic covers too. I mean, look at this. So well done. Yeah, John Romita Sr. does a cover in here as well. And of course, Marko Đurđević. I would say, out of all the cover artists in this book, he did my favorites. Just so cool. The issue 100 cover process, that was a big one. But yeah, there we go. Let's jump over to Volume 2, check out those extras. So here we are with Volume 2. There's an image of Lady Bullseye. Again, who's really, really cool in this run. You'd expect her to be like, just like a rip-off character, but no, she's really cool in this run. But yeah, in this extra section, you're mostly just getting different variant covers. No interviews or anything like that, but I mean, look at the stuff you're getting. The art is gorgeous. Patrick Zurcher, John Romita Sr., David Mack, who've both worked on Daredevil before. Really, really nice. There's actually what's going to be the direct market cover for the reprint of this omnibus, Volume 2. I'm not sure why they would pick this one. Joe Quesada doesn't really do anything, any of the work in this run. I would have preferred, I don't know, another Marko Đurđević cover. But hey, a new direct market cover is still cool. But yeah, a few more covers here. Yeah, some more Marko Đurđević work. I mean, look at that, dude. That's so cool. Let me bring that up closer. That should have been one of the direct market variant covers for the reprint. I mean, come on, look at that. So good. But yeah, just a little bit more to go here. We got a bit of a newspaper mock-up here. And yeah, that pretty much does it for your extra section for Volume 2. There we go. So looking at the build quality of Volume 1 here, you can see the eye is fantastic. We have 608 pages in this omnibus. Now keep in mind, this is the 2017 edition of this book that I have, not the reprint. So I think that this edition of the book has the best build quality because the pages are great, there's no gutter loss. But whereas in the reprint that came out, I think in 2021, again, the most recent reprint at the time of this video, from what I've seen, the reprint has some super thin pages, some of the thinnest that Marvel has put out. So between the reprint and these editions, if you can find these editions, I would say these have the better build quality if that's something that matters to you. And looking at Volume 2, just for completeness, you can see there's the eye of Volume 2. Even though it's a smaller book, 472 pages, the eye is still great. Page quality is just as good as Volume 1. I really hope the reprint of Volume 2 will have better build quality than the reprint of Volume 1. But again, if that's something that matters to you, then these editions of these books are your best bet, in my opinion, if you want the best build quality. But we are coming up on the end of the review, guys, so to wrap up, if you liked the Bendis run on Daredevil, then you'll almost certainly enjoy this one too. If you liked Gotham Central from DC, you'll probably like this too. If you're looking for a Daredevil story that kind of fits with like the Daredevil TV series, you'll probably really enjoy this. Again, I will just say though, I really think you should read the Bendis run first and then read this one because they really go hand in hand. But be prepared for darkness. This run really doubles down on the dark themes that were set up during Bendis's run, and it takes them even further. It's all about the slow descent of our hero, and every bit of this run, down to even the artwork, oozes that. So if you're looking for a cheery read to lift your spirits, this won't be the one. But otherwise, super solid run. But that's been my review of the Daredevil by Ed Brubaker Omnibuses Volumes 1 and 2. So you let me know what you thought about the books or the review, anything like that. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. But thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to catch you in another video real soon. So you have yourself a great day. I've been Superfly Comics Guy, and until next time, you keep reading. Bye-bye, guys.